Hey everybody, welcome to your weekly installment of Tarot Tuesday. I had a couple fives in a row, so let's see what's going to happen this week. Not too sure. Let's take a look. Okay, woo, fun. The Two of Wands. So let's take a look at the Two of Wands. Okay, the Two of Wands. So as you know, wands are about energy and inspiration, and I like to think of them as like the action for the mind, you know? So this is really how do you take what's inside and get it outside. The suit itself is one of my favorites, and I like that it starts off very inspirational. You know, you've got the ace, you know, new beginnings, and then we have this one, the two, which is about planning, okay, and having an objective viewpoint. If you look at the graphic here, it is someone standing out over the ocean, or, well, lake, whatever the hell he is, and he's got his globe, and he's basically planning where to set sail, what to do, maybe, unfortunately, whom to conquer, but he's putting his plan together. And in this, he has his hand on one of the wands, okay, which points out here, I think, balance, because twos traditionally refer to cards of balance. So with this one, he has one hand on the wand and one behind him, okay? He's not overly dependent on, okay? So he's got his plan and his action, okay? The wand being the action. So he's ready to make good on it and ready to go forward, okay? So this guy is basically the beginning of the next card too. If you see the Three of Wands, the ships are at sea and his plans have come true. So this is all about planning and being objective, okay? Like look at the globe here and figure it out. Another interesting point that could be made, I suppose, is that, you know, he's looking at this map. Well, it's a globe, but the map of the territory he's about to be in. And maybe he's doing some analysis here. He's looking at what is out there versus what's represented, okay? And this is where I think the objective viewpoint really comes in, because he's not just eating what's being told to him. He's, you know, looking at what was told to him, this globe, this map, and seeing what's really there, okay? If you had to read Hayakawa in school like I did, you're going to be familiar with the semantic statement, the map does not equal the territory, okay? And this card is that, okay? You can objectively look at the territory, compare it to the map, and you know, see where you should go from there. Don't just be force-fed, okay? So outside of being about planning, it's about being open, and we'll see this more in contrast in the reverse. Okay, let's take a look at this graphically. This one, I feel the graphics add a sense of adventure to this, okay? While planning is safe and smart, you know, someone looking at what they have and then deciding to go outside of that and really explore it on their own adds this certain sense to them. And then if we look to where he is and what's beyond, I think that adds even more to the adventure. So he's in the safety of this castle, and he's even up on the ramparts with his wands, but in the distance there's water, okay? And water is, you know, cleansing, but it's him getting through it. It's adventurous, and the water's very calm, so this is a stillness. This is his sense of mind is like, you know, he's very zen in this moment. There are also in the distance mountains, and mountains are challenges, okay? So despite the fact that those are on the same side as he is on that land, you would presume, can't tell about all of them, it does add the sense that there will be difficulties to face, but the calmness of the water shows that this is not anything upsetting, okay? You know, this is a strength, this is adventure, and this is someone going outside, stepping outside of where they are. So that may not come up a ton in your readings that way, but if you keep that in mind, it may add a little bit extra dimension to this when it comes up. So it's like, hey, plan, you know, do what you have to do, but don't be afraid to step outside, you know, like this may come, you know, in context with a Hierophant in reverse, something like that, and you know, really send it instead of just being like, well, you should plan. You know, it's like, hey, make your plans so that they kind of bend, you know, bend your comfort zone, get adventurous, go out, step outside the castle. You know, well, while it's all about balance, it's kind of like shifting the balance and changing the balance inside, changing the balance, you know, where you belong. Okay, the reverse here is traditionally something like, a lack of planning. Okay, that's understandable. It's the reverse of planning. But I would add to this the fact that someone needs to be a little bit more flexible with their plans. Okay, so here's where we'll contradict the objective viewpoint as in the upright. Okay, and this is where someone is looking at this globe, seeing the world out there, saying they don't match, but still saying that the globe is right. How are you going to get your plans done when you have the wrong information? Okay, this person needs to read Language in Thought and Action by Hayakawa. And so if we look at the adventure side of things that came up just while we looked at the graphics, this would bring in this fear of the unknown, fear of, you could even say adventure, kind of being too safe because of fear. And this is a really bad place to be because you're never going to advance, you're never going to grow. You're going to stay stuck in this castle where this guy lives. Some may say, I would love to live in a castle, but you don't know if this guy's whole career is emptying the pee buckets, so if he can get out of there, he should. Don't be afraid to get out of where you are. So if this were to come up in someone's reading and you were to see this as them at a place to make the decision, at a place to go through with their plans, but they're not being flexible, obviously it's straight on the money, and you have to tell them, well, look, sometimes you need to bend a little. One of the big signs in the wands is, once you get into the court cards, you see lots of lizards. Lizards on their clothes. There's a lizard on the ground. And lizards change. Lizards are adaptable. Lizards, think of a chameleon, okay? So this is another aspect of the wands here. And this is like change and transformation. And so while this is early on as being number 2, it is still the basis for the whole transition, the whole ball of wax, as it were, And if this comes up and it's not in regards to plans or something going on about the future, you could reference this as someone's fear of, say, stepping out, fear of growth, and this could be a really huge block that they don't know they have, or that they do know but they're not willing to admit. They'll think they're adventurous but they're not, and it's not all about adventure, it's about change and growing. Okay, not everything's a climb up Mount Everest. Some things are just stepping outside their comfort zone and maybe taking a class or trying something, just doing something different to elevate their character a little. You can't stay stuck in the same rut forever. And this is one of the biggest hits to someone's prosperity that you'll see. It's them staying stagnant, okay? So when you see the 2 of Wands in reverse, start to think that. Is it in them? Are they holding themselves back because they're scared? Are they just not looking outside of their traditional viewpoint and trying to learn, trying to grow? So it's not always just simple like, planning, be flexible. It may not have anything to do with planning at all. So look at it as that when you see it in the reverse, and that will really help them to remove that block and move forward with their life and move forward with prosperity. Okay, that was the 2 of Wands, upright and reverse. It was a quick one this week, but hopefully entertaining nonetheless. If you want to take tarot with me, it's Intuitive Tarot at the Ivy League Psychic Academy. You can check that out at ivyleaguepsychicacademy.com, or if you want to book a reading, Paul Casey, healingarts.com. All right, I will see you next week.